If you ever needed proof that even the biggest stars in the game are just people having fun with their friends, Caitlin Clark's 24th birthday delivered it in the most casual, unexpected way. Instead of a polished commercial, a press conference, or some big sponsored moment, what really caught fans' attention was a simple Instagram story from teammate Lexie Hull. No big production, no highlight reel, just a quick, unfiltered clip that pulled back the curtain on one of the most watched players in basketball right now. In the story, Lexie shared a short video from what looked like a relaxed, private celebration. And right there in the middle of it all was Caitlin Clark. No jersey, no cameras on the court, no locked-in game face, just singing for a few seconds, laughing, and totally in the moment. It was brief, but you could feel it. This was a side of her that people don't usually get to see. We're so used to watching Caitlin in full competitor mode with the Indiana Fever, running the offense, reading defenses, chirping after a big three, and constantly under scrutiny from media and fans. But that tiny clip reminded everyone that behind the numbers and the headlines, there's a 24-year-old who still knows how to have fun, goof around with teammates, and enjoy her birthday like anybody else. What stood out most was how natural it all felt. She wasn't performing for the camera, she was just being herself. That's exactly why it hit so hard with fans. In those few seconds, you could see a completely different kind of confidence, one that isn't about taking the last shot or controlling the pace of the game, but about being comfortable in her own skin, even when she's off the clock. And then there's Lexie Hull's role in all of this. The fact that it came from her account and not from a team page or a brand partnership says a lot about the bond inside that Fever locker room. Teammates don't post that kind of thing unless there's trust, warmth, and a real connection behind the scenes. It wasn't a clip that made fun of Caitlin or tried to embarrass her. It was affectionate. It felt like something you'd send to a group chat before deciding to let fans in on the moment too. Those little glimpses matter more than people think. They help humanize players who, especially in Caitlin's case, live under a microscope. Every game is analyzed, every quote is dissected, every cold shooting night turns into a talking point. So when you see her completely relaxed, joking and singing, you're reminded she's balancing all of that pressure with some very normal, very necessary joy. Her love of music in that clip isn't about whether she can sing like a professional, it's about expression. It shows that when practice is over, when film study is done, when the weight of expectation gets heavy, she has other outlets, other ways to live and breathe outside the three-point line. That's crucial for longevity in a league as demanding as the WNBA. And if you're paying attention, you notice something else in that video, the energy between Caitlin and Lexie Hull. You can feel the chemistry. That's not something you fake. Away from the arena lights, they're just two teammates, two young women in their 20s, having fun. Those are the kinds of small, off-court moments that tighten bonds and show up later when a game is on the line and someone needs to trust that the teammate in the corner will be exactly where she's supposed to be. Now, put this birthday moment against the backdrop of what Caitlin Clark actually did on the floor in the 2025 WNBA season. With the Indiana Fever, she averaged 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds per game. That's not hype, that's production. Those are all-star caliber numbers in just her second year as a pro. She wasn't just scoring, she was making her teammates better, controlling games, and bringing fans into arenas across the league. That's a heavy workload for anyone, let alone someone in her early 20s who came into the league with more expectations than maybe any rookie in WNBA history. So when you see her singing on Instagram, carefree for a second, you realize how important that balance is. You cannot live in locked-in mode 24 hours a day and expect to thrive. The great ones always find a way to create space for themselves off the court. Caitlin's day-to-day is pure discipline. Early lifts, practice, travel, recovery, film sessions, media, and then social media watching her every move, whether she wants it or not. But videos like the one Lexie posted show that discipline doesn't erase personality. She can be the intense floor general the one moment and the playful birthday girl the next. That duality is exactly what makes certain stars feel relatable instead of distant. On the other side of this birthday moment, Lexie Hull's season deserves real credit too. It's easy to overlook her numbers compared to the constant spotlight on Clark, but if you followed the Fever across all 44 games, you know how important Hull was. She averaged 7.2 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.8 assists, which might not grab headlines at first glance, but you have to put those stats into context. She was dealing with a difficult stretch physically, including back issues that can derail a player's rhythm completely. Instead of sitting out long stretches, she worked with the medical staff, adjusted her workload, and used strategic rest to stay available. That alone speaks to her professionalism. Playing every game in a 44-game season while not being 100% healthy is something that coaches, teammates, and real hoop heads notice immediately. Hull isn't the one whose name trends after every game, but she's the kind of teammate every star needs around her. She defends, rebounds, cuts without the ball, hits open shots, and does all the little things that don't always show up in the box score. That's exactly why this birthday video felt so symbolic too. It wasn't just Caitlin, the superstar, and Lexie, the role player. It was two professionals who've gone through a long, demanding season together, choosing to celebrate life for a moment instead of thinking about the next scout report. The 2025 season put both of them in very different kinds of pressure cookers. Caitlin carried the expectations of lifting a franchise, of driving ratings, of being the face of a new wave of WNBA fandom. Lexie carried the pressure of consistency, of staying on the floor, of being reliable despite physical setbacks. One is asked to be spectacular, the other to be steady. And yet, away from the stat sheets and narratives, they meet in the middle as friends.
From a team chemistry point of view, that's huge. Anyone who's played or followed basketball closely knows that what happens off the court always finds a way of showing up on it. Teams that actually like each other, that genuinely enjoy spending time together, move the ball better, communicate more, fight harder when they're tired. That short clip of Caitlin singing while Lexie records looks small, but that kind of joy between teammates is what keeps a locker room healthy during a long, grinding season. It also says something about how this generation of players relates to fans. Social media has completely changed the relationship between athletes and the people who watch them. In the past, you'd see a player 99% of the time in uniform through a TV broadcast or a magazine. Now, players like Caitlin and Lexie can choose to show you slices of their real lives. The risk is obvious. Everything can be misinterpreted, but the upside is enormous. Fans feel connected, invested, and part of the journey. That's exactly what happened here. Thousands of people saw that story and reacted not as if they were watching two distant celebrities, but like they were part of the celebration. The replies, the shares, the edits. Suddenly, Caitlin Clark's 24th birthday wasn't just a date on the calendar, it was a shared moment across WNBA Twitter, Instagram, and beyond. When you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, this small, joyful video sums up what makes the modern WNBA so compelling. You have elite athletes like Caitlin putting up 16, 8, 5 over a full season while carrying massive expectations. You have top-tier role players like Lexie giving everything they've got, even through injury, to stay ready and contribute. You have a team like the Fever trying to rebuild and rise in a hyper-competitive league. And in the middle of all that seriousness, you have a reminder that they still know how to laugh, sing, and be normal 20-somethings. It's easy to fall into the trap of only seeing players through the lens of their last box score. Did she shoot well? Did she turn the ball over? Did they win? But these off-court glimpses force you to see the full human being. Caitlin isn't just the shooter from deep or the rookie sensation turned franchise player. She's also the person who will lean into a song with her teammates on her birthday and not care if she looks a little silly. And Lexie isn't just the wing player filling in minutes. She's someone who, even after a physically taxing season, still has the energy to celebrate her teammate and share that joy with the world in a way that lifts everyone watching. Between Caitlin's spontaneity and Lexie's resilience, what you're seeing is two different versions of the same thing: professionalism with personality, discipline that doesn't crush joy. talent that isn't afraid to show vulnerability. That's exactly the mix that keeps fans coming back, not just for the deep threes and chase-down blocks, but for the sense that they're actually getting to know the people behind the jerseys. So when we talk about the 2025 Indiana Fever and their journey, yes, we're going to mention that 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5 rebounds per game from Caitlin. We're going to talk about Lexie grinding through all 44 games, averaging 7.2 points, 4.3 rebounds, and 1.8 assists while managing a back issue. Those numbers matter. They're the backbone of any serious discussion about their impact. But this birthday clip from Lexie's Instagram proves something just as important: who they are when the cameras are not supposed to be rolling. And that might be one of the biggest reasons fans feel so attached to this era of the WNBA. It's not just about what happens in 40 minutes on the court. It's about who these women are the other 23 hours of the day. If you're a Fever fan or just someone following this new wave of WNBA stars, this is the kind of moment you store in the back of your mind. Because when you see Caitlin directing traffic on offense, or Lexie diving on the floor for a loose ball next season, you'll remember they're not just grinding, they're also laughing, singing, and living full lives together off the floor. And honestly, that combination of competitiveness, talent, and authenticity is exactly what makes this league so special right now.